got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes in all of sports entertainment. This could be a pinfall.
Uh-oh. This isn't going to be pretty. We could have a pinfall here, JR. So who do you think's going to win this match, JR?
I'm not even going to hazard a guess, King. These superstars are so unpredictable that that would be just about the most foolish thing I could possibly do.
I think the best is yet to come in this match, JR.
I agree with you 100%. Whenever you put abilities of this caliber in a match together, it just gets better and better.
1, 2, 3.
I feel like the luckiest guy in the world, JR. I can't believe I actually get paid to do this job.
Well, don't let Eric Bischoff hear you say that, King, or you might wind up having to do it for free.
That's true. Bischoff's so cheap, he won't even tip a canoe. I don't think anyone's walking away from this match unscathed.
No doubt about it, King. This one's going to be hell on the anatomy for sure. What a reversal. Oh, man, I think we're about to see a high-risk move here.
You're not going to win a match by insulting your opponent.
No, but having the crowd behind you can certainly get the adrenaline pumping. That's a short climb, but a potentially long fall.
We could see a finishing move right here. Let me tell you, JR, you won't see action like this anywhere except on Raw.
That's for sure, King. There's not another brand of sports entertainment out there that can compare with Raw.
Now, if only we could get that through Michael Cole and Taz's heads, then they'd stop running their mouths on SmackDown.
This capacity crowd is solidly behind their superstar. Look at this.
Wow, could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary? Show off all you want, but it's not going to win you the match.
No, but getting the crowd behind you can certainly give you the edge.
They're taking it down a notch, JR. This could get interesting.
They're picking their spots, King. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King. A textbook reversal there.
Oh boy, here it comes. Flat on your back with your shoulders on the mat is no place to be. Wow, listen to these fans. That's the match, JR. I could have watched it go even longer. Well, there's no question who won that one, JR.
Not at all, King.
The
referee counted a pin, and that's all she wrote.
I'm sure not everyone's going to be happy about it, but that's what rematches are for.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from New York, New York, Hot Stuff. And the opponent, from parts unknown, Hot Stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raw is live tonight from St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm Jim Ross, here with Jerry the King Lawler.
These Minnesota fans have been waiting a long time to see the Raw Superstars in action, and I know they're not going to be disappointed.
They certainly won't, King. The Twin Cities are never going to forget the day Raw came to town.
What a counter! Now remember, kids, whatever you do, don't try this stuff at home.
Absolutely not. Even these trained professionals wind up pretty badly banged up after a match. These superstars are in terrific shape, and that comes as no surprise whatsoever.
No kidding. If you don't have that conditioning, you're not going to last long in a match.
You sure aren't. And that's only one of the many reasons I try to stay out of the ring whenever possible.
4, 5.
What a reversal.
These superstars are at the top of their game, JR. They make it look so easy.
They sure do. You almost forget about the years of training and sacrifice that went into their careers.
The intensity of these superstars is unbelievable.
No doubt about that, King. The fans are getting their money's worth here tonight.
I can't even imagine what these superstars will put each other through.
I don't think you'll have to use much imagination, King.
1.
I think they intend to show you right here tonight.
I could watch these superstars go at it all night, JR.
So could I, King. But all good things must come to an end. Let's just hope it just doesn't end too soon.
I think these superstars have a legitimate beef with each other, JR.
So do I, King. I'm not so sure their issues with each other are going to be solved with one match.
I hope not. I'd love to see them go at it again and again.
There's no room for error when you're on the top rope.
JR's not going to be happy about this one, folks. I think one of his favorites is going to get beat like the proverbial government mule.
I'm not playing favorites, King. I might have issues with certain superstars as human beings, but I respect their in-ring abilities nonetheless.
JR, you're so full of it that you've got diarrhea of the mouth and constipation of the brain. I'd hate to be that referee, JR. Can you imagine having to tell one of these superstars no?
Boy, I think I've had nightmares about trying to do something like that, King.
I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is... And it's been reversed.
Remind me to never try and step between these guys, JR.
That would be hazardous to your health for sure, King.
I thought I'd pick the winner before the match started, JR, but now I'm having second thoughts.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, King. Usually I wonder if you've even had first thoughts.
One.
Looks like things have quieted down here a bit, JR.
Well, you can be certain that won't last long, King.
That's for sure. I haven't seen the superstar yet who goes down without a fight.
1, 2, 3.
This is a classic matchup, King. I'm so glad the
4.
WWE fans are getting the chance to see it.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I'm getting to see it too, JR. I just wish they'd pick up the pace a little.
Oh, no. This is classic old-school wrestling at its finest. You, of all people, should be able to appreciate that, King.
Wait a minute, JR. You're not trying to say that I'm old, are you?
Of course not, King. Although there was that rumor going around about your social security number was 1.
These superstars are beating the heck out of each other, and this crowd can't get enough of it.
It's what they paid to see, King, and they're getting their money's worth tonight.
There's the reversal. Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's gonna go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get...
Rope
The
break.
submission has been expertly applied, and now it's just a matter of time.
That's right, JR. You've either got to break the hold or get broken by it. I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure they haven't. That's not the kind of attitude you come in with and expect to pick up the win.
You're right about...
If there's the submission, there might not be any way out of it.
There'd better be, or we're going to see a tap out right here.
We could be looking at a pinfall here, folks.
2.
Was that 3? No? Come on. What do you think of the match so far, JR?
I think these superstars are putting on one hell of an exhibition here tonight, King. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Oh, no! This is terrible! You can't let your opponent build this kind of momentum!
Well, all I can say is someone's been eating their vitamins and saying their prayers.
What are they going to do next?
I couldn't even begin to guess, King. That's why they say anything can happen here in the WWE.
I've been looking forward to this match all night, JR. I can't believe it's finally underway.
This has been a hotly anticipated contest, and as far as I'm concerned, it's living up to the hype.
No question about that, JR. Here's the cover, JR.
That's a short climb, but a potentially long fall.
Yes, that was an incredible move. What strategy?
Strategy, my Oklahoma ass. That's cheap, plain and simple.
Let me tell you, JR, you won't see action like this anywhere except on Raw.
That's for sure, King. There's not another brand of sports entertainment out there that can compare with Raw.
Now, if only we could get that through Michael Cole and Taz's heads, then they'd stop running their mouths on SmackDown.
These top rope moves are always difference makers, for better or worse.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knocker. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case of the limber tape.
All right, enough. I'm getting a translator before I have to come out here with you again.
You've got to ask yourself, how much punishment will these superstars be able to withstand tonight?
I don't know, JR, but I think they're pretty intent on finding out.
They certainly are.
One.
I don't know how it's going to end, but I can guarantee
One.
you they're going to leave it all in the ring.
2.
You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not.
Rope break.
What a submission hold! Could this be a tap out?
It isn't. The hold can't be broken. You can't take this kind of pain for long.
This is a risky move. It could prove to be disastrous. What an incredible performance by these phenomenal superstars.
Did you expect anything less, JR? I mean, look who's in the ring right now.
No, I didn't, King. I had high expectations, and I'm happy to say that this match has exceeded them all.
Looks like someone's heading for the high-rent district.
And now a pin. This
1,
could be it.
2.
There's the kick out. I thought that was it for sure.
I talked to these superstars backstage before the match, and I don't think I've ever seen competitors so ready to get it on.
And that's coming through loud and clear here tonight in this match. They're not taking it easy on each other either.
It's been said a million times, but I'll say it again. Here's the pin. Could this be it?
1, 2.
There's the kick out. No surprise there. Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them,
Rope
JR?
break.
Look what's going on in the ring. They're taking it down a notch, JR. This could get interesting.
They're picking their spots, King. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
These superstars are going to tear each other apart.
That's exactly what the fans paid to see, King, and they're not going to go home disappointed. And there's the cover.
1, 2.
Is that? No, only 2.
I don't think anyone's walking away from this match unscathed.
No doubt about it, King. This one's going to be hell on the anatomy for sure. You're putting a lot on the line when you climb that turnbuckle.
We could have a pinfall here, JR.
1, 2.
Oh, man, that was almost 3, JR. If any superstar shows the slightest hint of weakness, they've lost the match.
That's for sure. No matter how beat up you are, you can't ever let your opponent know the extent of your injuries.
And that's easier said than done, JR. The human body can only absorb so much punishment. I think someone's going for a high-risk move, JR. There's the pin.
1, 2.
A count of 2, and the referee's hand was coming down for the 3.
I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes in all of...
Rope
Oh,
break.
boy, this is not going to be an easy hole to escape from.
It sure isn't, JR. I've been on the wrong end of that one many times.
1, 2.
That was like 2 7/8, JR. It looks like these superstars are looking for an opening.
And the first one to find one will take control of this match.
I don't care how tough you are, JR. No one can take this kind of pain for long.
You're absolutely right, King. We've seen many superstars tap out to this very hole. Look at this! Look at this! You talk about a house of fire, you're seeing it right here!
Yeah? Well, somebody better put out that fire, or this one's not going to end well. I think I see where this one's going, JR. I don't think we're very far from the end of the match.
I disagree entirely, King. I'd bet my Oklahoma Sooner ass that this one isn't even close to being over.
That's a pretty big bet, JR. Are you sure you're able to cover it?
And there's a little something for the crowd. The best superstars never ignore their fans.
The best superstars also finish off their opponents instead of giving them time to recover.
3.
I can't remember the last time I saw superstars this fired up. I don't think they've even considered the possibility that they might not win this thing.
There's an awful lot of pride on the line here, King. No one in that ring wants to have to go back to the locker room as a loser.
I don't think there's going to be anything left of these superstars by the time they're done.
There may not be, King. They may well annihilate each other here tonight. A textbook reversal there.
I'd ask you who you want to win this matchup, JR, but it's been pretty obvious since the start of the show who you're pulling for.
I'm trying to remain as objective as I can, King. Quite frankly, I'd rather see a good competitive matchup than see a particular superstar win or lose this thing.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows you play favorites. You're always trying to kiss up to the fans by talking up whoever they're cheering for.
I've never been a kiss-up in my life, King, which is more than I can say for some people. I call them like... And here's the pin!
1, 2, 3.
Wow!
What a match. I wonder if we'll ever see a rematch.
There's only a few things you have to avoid doing in a match, and having your shoulders touch the mat for
Here's
3
your winner.
seconds is one of them.
And you
Hot
know better
stuff.
than anyone how difficult that can be, King.
Absolutely, JR. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you just can't.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from New York, New York, Hot Stuff. And the opponent, from New York, New York, Sexy Girl.
A big bienvenue to our fans around the world from Montreal, Quebec. Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
And folks, let me assure you that tonight's show is a lot better than JR's French. Sheesh.
Well, there's no question of that, King. These Montreal fans are ready to get started, and so am I. So what are we waiting for? And it's been reversed.
You think these fans have gotten their money's worth tonight, JR?
If they haven't yet, I'm sure they're going to by the end of this match.
Well, I don't say this too often, but I completely agree with you. You know, JR, when I saw this match on paper, I wasn't too sure about it, but it's turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
I'm not at all surprised, King. I knew this was going to be a terrific matchup.
Oh, come on, JR. You're just talking through your hat. And speaking of hats, when are you going to get rid of that silly thing anyway?
Right about the time you stop wearing that crown, I'd say.
1.
I'm not so sure this one's about winning or losing anymore. I think it's become more personal than that.
Of course it's personal, JR. Anytime you step into the ring with someone who wants to beat you down in order to win the match, it's personal.
I guess I can't argue with that, King. I just wonder if they'll be able to settle their differences in this match, or if it's going to wind up bigger than that. Excellent counter. What ring presence.
Rope break.
I don't care how tough you are, JR. No one can take this kind of pain for long.
You're absolutely right, King. We've seen many superstars tap out to this very hold.
I don't think these superstars have any intention of taking it easy on each other tonight.
That's not what they signed up for, King. And quite frankly, I think these fans would be disappointed if they didn't go all out.
Well, that's easy for the fans to say. They've never set foot inside that ring.
No, but they spend their hard-earned dollars to watch what goes on inside it. And without them, we'd all be out of a job. This is Raw action at its finest. That's why Raw is the #1 brand of sports entertainment.
You've got that right, JR. You're not going to see this kind of action on SmackDown.
Not on SmackDown or anywhere else. There's nothing else out there that can come close to the excitement of seeing the Raw superstars perform. And there's the cover.
1, 2.
There's the kick out. No surprise there. Oh boy, the adrenaline is pumping. I think this could be the beginning of the end.
No, it can't end like this. Come on, do something quick.
Rope
That
break.
submission is locked in, JR, and this is a tough hold to break.
It sure is, King. And even if you break the hold, it takes its toll on you. And now a pin. This
1,
could be it.
2.
Is that? No, only 2.
This is the perfect chance for a finisher.
These top rope moves are always difference makers, for better or worse. These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, and that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk.
These superstars are going to tear each other apart.
That's exactly what the fans paid to see, King, and they're not going to go home disappointed.
Oh my gosh, this could be the finisher.
1, 2, 3.
I think these Oh my gosh, it's over, JR. Well, there's no question
your
who won
winner.
that one, JR.
Not at all, King.
Sexy
The
girl.
referee counted the pin, and that's all she wrote.
I'm sure not everyone's going to be happy about it, but that's what rematches are for.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Approaching the ring from New York, New York, Mr. And his opponent from New York, New York, the Icon.